Welcome. I thought following the last video on this solar eclipse that with the response to that video I feel warrants a reply, the how to get through this basically and what exactly is happening. It's prompted by December Star. Thank you for your comment and questions, and I feel that this will greatly benefit many of you. So take here for example, until about an hour ago it was still raining, and you know how that feels, the difference. I mean, now there's sunshine, there's cloud, but there's sunshine, and the spirits feel lifted. December Star said, the lady said that it feels like a chrysalis phase. Well, that is exactly what it is. You can hear in the word chrysalis, it's crystallization, which is where you get the whole Christ thing. It's Kundalini rising, basically. Now think of this like a flow chart. You're faced with a rain cloud, and it's easy to go into the negative and react. So apply this same pattern with what is happening right now to you, what you're experiencing physically with all the aches and pains, the sleepless nights and so on. But the external has reflected exactly that. It's like, yeah, oh, another day of rain, I can't get on, it's frustrating. But let it pass. There's been some sunshine, there are patches of blue up there now. It's a little bit better than it was. From this perspective, it's too wet to do anything but at the moment, but at least it's now dry. So turning this same thing, this same pattern, think of it like a flow chart. So if you go with the reaction and negative default of and in the case of this, let's call it eclipse symptoms. I feel that's a good way of describing it. It is a chrysalis, it is a change that you're going through, and it is felt physically. But let that rain cloud, that metaphorical rain cloud, pass, and it will open up to blue skies and the rising of the sun, the appearance of the light. Now, internalize that. The external is just a reflection. Think also, there's a bit more that sort of came to me about that that ship in Baltimore, the vessel. The electric pylons, the spark has been cut. I don't think I need to go into any more details. I think you can work out from that. But what happens with those great big container ships? They are guided by tugboats, generally. Tug, T-U-G. Now reverse that. Gut instinct. What you feel inside, the intuitive, the intuition. So, as it's rightly pointed out, feeling like a chrysalis going from caterpillar to butterfly, that is what is happening. So what can we do to make things easier on ourselves? Now this is going to be very dependent on your individual circumstances, whether you have family commitments, obligations, pets, things like this. So think of it in terms like a war, from the point of view of you adopt emergency procedures, you emerge and see. So scale back on whatever you're doing. Leave what is non-essential. Just do the absolute basics. So if you've got a dog, for example, the dog obviously is going to need walking. If there is no one there to help you, or if you don't have anybody that could help you out, then you've got to push through it as best you can. But don't beat yourself up. Don't be hard on yourself. Just allow this process to take place, because it is going to open up into something wonderful. But there's always a flip side, there is always a contrast. I feel the majority that went for a tyrannical script, I've got to be careful how I say this, but I think you know what I'm alluding to here. They will feel something very different. Now, I'm not going to write everybody off, because I feel it comes down to serial numbers. It was like a Russian roulette, because nothing that the system does they won't want it to look so readily apparent that everybody can spot it. So there's always going to be a mixture of things to keep that pattern hidden. Remember that saying, a thief will always cover their tracks. And that's why things are done the way they are, because if it's too apparent, everybody will see it, they won't fall for it. And of course, this is in the external, the breaking of the second seal, taking peace from the world. Well, it doesn't have to be war, does it? Taking peace in the world can be, it could actually be something solar. These M-class and X-class flares, as I understand it, they are sort of electromagnetic. So what sort of effect are they going to have if you have foreign ingredients inside the body? Maybe some sort of interaction that doesn't go well, shall we say. I don't want to paint a picture of doom and gloom, but I'm here to try and help and be a tugboat, as it were, to guide the vessel to the key. Notice how these words have all got double meanings. It's spelt Q-U-A-Y in the sense of shipping vessels, but we're now talking about the human vessel that we find ourselves in. Yeah, so scale back anything non-essential, anything that can wait to another day, just leave it. It's not important. It's the way to think about this. If you consider, it's something I've used as an analogy before. Imagine this is your last day, and you go to bed tonight and you don't wake up. If you knew this was your last day, how much of those concerns, like how am I going to pay this utility bill or the mortgage, whatever it happens to be, how that would fade into total insignificance as being trivia, because it wouldn't matter any longer, would it? So I don't want to make this too long, but just go easy on yourself. Just do the minimum that you feel will keep things ticking over in your life, in your circumstances. If you have family around you, if it is possible to do, delegate, share the responsibilities and things. Going back to that Baltimore Bridge collision again, it sort of speculated there was nobody on the bridge, so there was no captain of the vessel. That again is a metaphorical thing. You are the captain of your vessel, I hope. You're not letting the emotions run away and take you into fear state, for example. So where possible, if you've got the people who are on the right frequency around you, say, look, could you help me out at the moment? But it may be that anybody that is on the same frequency is going through similar, but there is an opportunity to pull together as much as possible, or to scale back on what you're doing. It's a reflection of what is going on here. I found it very frustrating this last week. I wanted to get potatoes planted, and this earth clay is it just sticks to my crocs. It turns up, I end up with like platform soles. It's certainly not going to be worth doing anything with the ground until it's dried out a bit. But there is some things I can do, and I do feel a little bit more energetic. I did manage to do about an hour and a half yesterday, and I would have done more. Maybe I would have pushed myself too much physically, but the rain put paid to that, so I had an enforced rest by the weather. Something that also came into my mind as a song, I can't remember, it's a well-known song, I can't remember the actual title, but it goes, wherever you go, always take the weather with you, which sounds ridiculous. If you were somewhere where it's raining all day long, it's like, why would you want to take that weather with you? But it's, again, it's metaphorical. It's the sun inside you. Because we don't see light in this external reality. We see illumination. The only place you'll see the light is through personal internal experience, which will be shown to the mind's eye. There was something else that came to me about this, to do with this number 6 on the mind's eye, but at the moment it's eluded me. So I feel we'll end that there, but again, I'm available. Emails are in the description if you want to get in contact with me specifically about this eclipse sickness. That's, I feel, a good term for it, because it is like any sickness. It will pass. You don't need to do anything apart from just go easy on yourself. It's internal changes that are going on, big internal changes. It's symbolically shown in what's happening in the astral. But just be fearless. Know that you are not coming to any harm. You are going through this experience because you are in alignment with your higher self. Now, this is also true about manifestation. The manifestations will come quickest when they are in alignment with your higher self. It was the Alchemist channel, a video I listened to yesterday, and I'm sure I've heard other people say this. In these physical forms, we are the boots on the ground. We are at the midpoint, the connection between the earth element and the air element, between Mother Earth and Father Spirit is another way you could describe it. We are the union. We are the product and the union of the two. We are going into a beautiful, beautiful age, and I'm sure many of you can feel that, even if there doesn't seem to be any apparent facts externally that back that up. But it does come down to feeling. Now, like the tugboat, the gut, it's pulling or it's pushing, it's guiding the vessel to the key. And that is key to see these things as metaphors. Penetrate the deeper meaning. Go beyond the superficial if you're going to look into any of these stories that are presented. Because as I've said before, they are guiding humanity, but they're coming out in a very twisted way. If you can undo the twist and see through the initial superficial distortion and penetrate deeper into what is being shown, here's the other bit. We've just gone through the spring equinox. In the Jewish religion, it is Passover. It's where the sun passes over the equator. Now think about that ship at Baltimore. It didn't pass under the bridge. There was no passing under. So it's a reflection. But you will pass over. You will pass over with your higher self and overcome rather than running aground. That is also being shown with that. Also, think about the port of Baltimore, how abundance and supply has been disrupted. It's a physical external play out showing the opposite of what is really happening in the spiritual. And of course it does play out in the material, in a very material way. So I'm going to say love to you all. I hope this has helped you sort of find a way to navigate through this, and know that everything is going to be absolutely fine. be grateful that you are going through this experience, because it will open up into something far better. It does seem painful, yes, it does feel uncomfortable, but it's a passover. You will pass this. It is just a test upon us. Think also how there's been those cell phone alerts. This is just a test, was the message that came up. It's all a test. The whole thing is a test. It is a test of your staying true to self, being captain of your vessel, holding true to the path, following that inner guidance, that intuition inside yourself. You won't go far wrong if you stick with that. You just will. You've been fortunate enough to hold on to your organic self, and you still have that connection. Your bridge has not been severed. Your electric lines have not been cut. But don't think these things. Don't give them over to the lower conscious mind to solve. Just let the answers come. We are basically magnetic beings, so whatever you put out. So if you are, even if you're feeling like you're suffering, you could see it as, in a way, as like this is, you're going through your crucifixion. This is the crux of it. That it's the mind's eye is seeing the fiction of this material reality, and you will transcend, and you will go beyond this, and you will come out the other side shining and bright, shall we say. So I'm going to say love to you all, and get this video uploaded, because I feel this is very important, because I know how it feels when everything aches. I actually feel a lot better than I did yesterday. The fact that I was able even to do an hour and a half, I'd sort of thought, no, I can do this, and I probably could have done more, maybe have overdone it, but then it comes down to frequency. What you're radiating out will determine what you, it will determine what you experience. But know that this is something actually beautiful, although it doesn't seem it. But we're in a realm of duality. You're shown both contrasts. You've seen the negative. That's the rain cloud. Let that pass and you'll see the blue skies and sunshine. They always follow. So I'm going to say love to you all. Oh, there we go, 17 minutes and 44 seconds. There's always a 44. Numbers, just observe them. Don't dig into them, start going down rabbit holes. Just take them as signs. You are given signs. Well, this is exactly what is happening. You're feeling it physically. That is a sign. Because remember, you are given signs. It doesn't say whether they're good things or bad things, or what we perceive as good or bad things. It can be a mixture of both. So love to you all, and I hope this has helped you get through this.